Hello there. Nothing in the Quran disproves science, nor does it disprove the multiverse, the Big Bang, or evolution. It's merely the reader thinking two-dimensionally. So for the minority of Muslims who deny science is silly, and they're doing their own religion an injustice, because Islam embraced and contributed to science in a major way, especially during the golden age of Islam. Because the Quran mentions the Big Bang and the multiverse and the beginning of life on Earth, the nature of cloud formations and mountains, etc. This could be a long video, so get a brew and relax. First of all, the fact that man is made of clay doesn't disprove evolution. The latest theory is that clay, which is at its most basic a combination of minerals in the ground, acts as a breeding laboratory for tiny molecules and chemicals, which it absorbs like a sponge. The process takes billions of years, during which the chemicals react to each other to form proteins, DNA, and eventually living cells. Meanwhile, all life on Earth came from clay. There is nothing in the Quran that says evolution didn't happen. It just says man was made of clay. It doesn't lay a time index on the events that take place. The Greeks and the Bible also believed this. Biological engineers from Cornell University's Department for Nanoscale Science in New York State believe clay might have been the birthplace of life on Earth. It is a theory dating back thousands of years in many cultures, though perhaps not using the same scientific explanation. In religious texts from ancient Egypt to Chinese legends, God molds clay into the shape of man and then breathes life into him through his nostrils. Even Genesis talks of man being born from dust and returning to dust when he dies, with scholars translating this from the ancient Hebrew as also meaning clay or the earth itself. But also bear this in mind, all life is made of carbon, just like the earth. The Big Bang. The Quran says that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit before we clove them asunder. Following this big explosion, Allah turned to the sky and it had been as smoke. He said to it and to the earth, "Come together, willingly or unwillingly." They said, "We come together in willing obedience." Thus the elements and what was to become the planets and the stars began to cool, come together and form into shape, following the natural laws that Allah established in the universe. Many scientists have described the forces of the Big Bang as elements, etc., compressing together till the mass gets too critical, then blows out. The smoke that the Quran speaks of is gas or nebulas, etc. The Quran further states that Allah created the sun, the moon, and the planets, each with their own individual courses or orbits. It is He who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon. All the celestial bodies swim along each its rounded course. Expansion of the universe. The heavens we have built them with power, and verily we are expanding it. There has been some historical debate among Muslim scholars about the precise meaning of this verse, since knowledge of the universe's expansion was only recently discovered. But remember, when they spoke of heaven or heavens, they were talking about the sky and space. 6 days? Surely not. How can this be when the universe is 26.7 billion years old? That's the new figure, by the way. The Quran states that Allah created the heavens and the earth and all that is between them in 6 days, while on the surface this might seem similar to the account related in the Bible. There are some important distinctions. The verses that mention 6 days use the Arabic word yawm, day. This word appears several other times in the Quran, each denoting a different measurement of time. In one case, the measure of a day is equated with 50,000 years, whereas another verse states that a day in the sight of your Lord is like 1,000 years of your reckoning. The word yom is thus understood within the Quran to be a long period of time, an era or eon. Therefore, Muslims interpret the description of a six-day creation as 6 distinct periods or eons. The length of these periods is not precisely defined, nor are the specific developments that took place during each period. But how would this be possible? Okay, so let's say Allah is a type 6 life form, and that as stated by the Quran, it took him 7 periods, and let's just say it is 50,000 for one. That means the Great Plan took him 350,000 years or decades, which sounds more reasonable than 7 Earth days. But this is not accurate. It's just a hypothetical. But let's forget these numbers and explain the time difference. We can do this with the help of Einstein. If Allah is a type 6 life form that lives outside the boundaries of the universe, then this means they live in a dimension that exists beyond the speed of light, because the universes expand at the speed of light, or faster. As anything approaches the speed of light, time slows down, and any faster than that, and time comes to what is theorized to be called 0 point. Anyone in 0 point has essentially access to past, present, or future, or even any part of the universe or the multiverse. Whilst time is slow or normal, for Allah eons have passed within the universe that we live in. This is called time dilation. After completing the creation, the Quran describes that Allah settled himself upon the throne to oversee his work. A distinct point is made to counter the biblical idea of a day of rest. We created the heavens and the earth, and all that is between them, in 6 days, nor did any sense of weariness touch us. Allah is never done with his work, because the process of creation is ongoing. Each new child who is born, every seed that sprouts into a sapling, every new species that appears on earth is part of the ongoing process of Allah's creation. He it is who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, then established himself on the throne. He knows what enters within the heart of the earth and what comes forth out of it, what comes down from heaven and what mounts up to it. And he is with you wherever you may be, and Allah sees well all that you do. The Quranic account of creation is in line with modern scientific thought about the development of the universe and life on Earth. Most Muslims acknowledge that life developed over a long period of time, but see Allah's power behind it all. Descriptions of creation in the Quran are set in context to remind the readers of Allah's majesty and wisdom. What is the matter with you, that you are not conscious of Allah's majesty, seeing that it is He who has created you in diverse stages? See you not how Allah has created the 7 heavens, one above another, and made the moon a light in their midst, and made the sun as a lamp, and Allah has produced you from the earth, growing gradually. Diverse stages, by the way, refers to evolution. Life came from water. The Quran describes that Allah made from water every living thing. Another verse describes how Allah has created every animal from water. Of them are some that creep on their bellies, some that walk on 2 legs, and some that walk on 4. Allah creates what He wills, for truly Allah has power over all things. These verses support the scientific theory that life began in the Earth's oceans. This includes us and evolution. Again, like I said, Muslims who deny evolution are stupid, ignorant, or have misunderstood what the Quran has said. There's only a minority, by the way. Mountains and the seawater. In 12 distinctive verses, the Quran outlines the basic geologic conceptions of mountains as follows. That mountains are not just the lofty elevations seen on the surface of the earth, but their downward extensions in the earth's lithosphere in the form of pegs or pickets is highly emphasized, inasmuch as most of the picket or pegs is hidden in either soil or rock to hold one end of the tent to the ground surface. Most of the mountain must be hidden in the Earth's lithosphere. The term picket or peg is both literally and scientifically more correct than the term root, which is currently used for mountains in chapter 78, verses numbers 6 and 7. The Quran reads, "Have we not made the earth as a bed and the mountains as pegs?" In 10 other verses, the Quran emphasizes the role of mountains as stabilizers for the earth's outer surface or lithosphere. These verses read, "And it is he who spread out the earth and placed therein firm mountains and rivers, and of every kind of fruits he made Zwajan, Inthanan." Two in pairs may mean two kinds, or it may mean of two varieties, e.g. black and white, sweet and sour, small and big. He brings the night as a cover over the day. Verily, in these things there are ayat, proofs, evidences, lessons, signs, etc., for people who reflect. And the earth we have spread out, and have placed therein firm mountains, and caused to grow therein all kinds of things in due proportion. And here he has affixed into the earth mountains standing firm, lest it should shake with you, and rivers and roads that you may guide yourselves. And we have placed on the earth firm mountains, lest it should shake with them. And we placed therein broad highways for them to pass through, that they may be guided. Is he not better than your gods, or has made the earth as a fixed abode, and has placed rivers in its midst, and has placed firm mountains therein, and has set a barrier between the two seas of salt and sweet water? It is there any ilayah with Allah? Nay, but most of them know not. He has created the heavens without any pillars that you see, and has set on the earth firm mountains, lest it should shake with you. And he has scattered therein moving living creatures of all kinds, and we send down water, rain from the sky, and we cause plants of every goodly kind to grow therein. He placed therein, i.e. the earth, firm mountains from above it, and he blessed it, and measured therein its substance for its dwellers in 4 days equal, i.e. all these 4 days were equal in the length of time for all those who ask about its creation. Have they not looked at the heaven above them, how we have made it and adorned it, and there are no rifts in it? Have we not made the earth a receptacle for the living and the dead, and have placed therein firm and tall mountains, and have given you to drink sweet water. And after that he spread the earth, and brought forth therefrom its water and its pasture, and the mountains he has fixed firmly to be a provision and benefit for you and your cattle. To elaborate on this function of mountains as stabilizers for the earth, Prophet Muhammad is reported to have said, when Allah created the earth, its surface started to move and shake, and then Allah stabilized it by mountains. In the 12th verse of this group, the Quran is asking people to contemplate a number of phenomena in Allah's creation, including how mountains are set up. Such speculation has led to the theory of the Istiocy, which can explain how mountains are made to stand on the surface of the earth. The Quran reads, do they not look at the camels? How are they created? And at the heavens, how is it raised? And at the mountains, how are they rooted and fixed firm? And at the earth, how is it spread out? And at the earth, how is it spread out? In another verse, see you not that Allah sends down water, rain from the sky, and we produce therewith fruits of various colours, and among the mountains are streaks, white and red, of varying colours. The Quran describes mountains as being composed of white and red tracts of various shades of colours, and others that are black and intense in hue. This is probably referring to both continental mountains, which are dominantly granite in composition with overwhelming white and red colours of the various shades, and oceanic mountains that are dominantly composed of black coloured basic and ultra basic rocks. Each of these mountain types has got its specific rock chemical and mineralogical composition, as well as its specific origin. The Quran reads, see you not that Allah sends down water from the sky, and we produce therewith fruits of various colours, and among the mountains are streaks white and red of the varying colours, and others very black, and likewise of men and adwab, moving, living creatures, beasts and cattle are of various colours. It is only those who have knowledge among his slaves that fear Allah. Verily Allah is Almighty, oft forgiving. In the last verse of this group, the Quran emphasizes the fact that mountains are non-stationary bodies that follow the movements of the earth, as it reads, and you will see the mountains and think them solid, but they shall pass away as the passing away of the clouds. The work of Allah, who perfected all things, verily, he is well acquainted with what you do. Now, with the mountains, I learnt something new from this, and that is, mountains aren't just something beautiful to look at, but actually form a function like such as be stabilizers for tectonic plates. As we know, one of the things mentioned with climate change and why ocean levels rise or are affected is because of the mixing of salt water and pure water, or sweet water as I say, causing a reaction. Also, it's interesting to note that one of the reasons why the pyramids have survived earthquakes is because of their size, structure and shape. In many ways that's shaped like mountains. It makes you wonder if the Egyptians knew about this little gem and how they worked with the earth, etc. There's so much to cover on this, and perhaps if I remember, I'll put a link to a good series on YouTube that fully explores these ideas. But it's ignorant for atheists to deny the compatibility of science and the Quran and Islam, and ignorant of any Muslim to deny science and evolution. Does this mean the Quran is truly the word of God? Who can say? Sounds pretty convincing, I suppose, to a degree, though it doesn't, however, one could argue, even though that Muhammad couldn't read or write, it doesn't mean he couldn't have spoken to people like scholars and philosophers of the time, and nor does it negate the fact that he may have been like Beethoven and Einstein, a naturally born genius. Well, thanks for listening. If you found this video insightful, hit the like, and if you haven't, then please subscribe to the channel, as it'll be great to have you with us. And so until the next video, take care and be well.